Crittenden County Basketball would like to thank these fine sponsors: Mark Williams, Whitetail Properties, re-elect Bart Frazer, County Attorney, Farmers Bank and Trust, Nathan Ratley at Marion Recycling, Livingston Hospital, H&H Home and Hardware, Tanner Tabor at YTG Insurance, First United Bank in Marion, elect Chad Nelson, Crittenden County Attorney, Colby Davis and West Kentucky Launchpad, Stuart Haberlock's Preferred Tree and Land, Lone Star Construction, Ellington Detailing, Roy Crane's Tire and Equipment Rental, Johnson's Furniture and Appliance, Jared Champion at JRC Kennels, Megan Roberts, Chiropractic and Wellness, Kenny Locke and Superior Exteriors, H&R Block of Marion, and Stark's Sports Training.
Welcome, Rocket fans. My name is Trace Darrington, and I'm with a woman that is no stranger to winning, no stranger to coaching. This woman has been around the block with Crittenden County for so long, and I want to thank you for being here. Thank you for joining us today. So I just want to keep this plain and simple. Last night, y'all go out, and y'all had, on paper and in person, from a lot of people that I'm hearing, unfortunately couldn't make the game, y'all played phenomenal. Y'all kind of looked already, and don't want to say it too early, but y'all looked a little bit like a mid-season team. When y'all go out and you put up 69 points, you had 3 girls with double-digit scoring. You had 3 more with 9, 9, and 8. So just kind of tell me about how last night felt.
Well, I probably look at things a little more critically than everybody else does. But I thought it was a good first outing. Definitely great to see the balanced scoring. Mm-hmm. I'll be honest with you. I looked at the scoreboard, but I wasn't looking at it a lot. Here early on, we were just ready to play other people, and I felt like we got contributions from everybody that got on the floor, so it's a team that we have a lot of high expectations. I know the community is very excited about, and so it was nice to be able to get that first win here at home. We had a great crowd for a snow day Tuesday night, and thanks Rocket Nation for coming out and supporting us. It was a fun night. I have a lot of respect for Melissa Thomas that coaches for Caldwell, and the score might have been a little lopsided, but I thought they did a lot of good stuff too, and she's got kids that play hard, and so I respect that program a whole lot, but we're glad to get that first win.
Absolutely. Looking at the stats last night, y'all went 8 for 10 from the free throw line. So do you think that is something so early you want to set the tone with it? Hey, even though we didn't shoot a ton of free throws, we still go out there and shoot 80%. Do you think that is something you will focus on a lot this season?
Oh, yeah. We shoot free throws every day in practice, kind of like in pressure situations. There's always running on the line, at the end of practice if we're not putting them up, and we shoot them when we should be at the end of practice when we're tired. So we do that every day. 8 for 10 was great. I'd like to see us shoot many more free throws than that.
Absolutely.
We've got to get to the rim. We're a team of shooters. I've got a lot of kids who can shoot the ball from the outside. I just don't want us to settle on that. I want us to attack the rim, get out and run, try to get to the, get some layups in transition, maybe a little more than we did. And something I look at is, one of the goals we have is that we're gonna make more free throws than the other team shoots.
Yes.
But last night that didn't happen. So although we shot well, we've got something to improve upon in that category. Yeah. We look at, like I said, I look at things a little more critically, but happy that we shot it well, for sure.
Do you see an area of the game that you want to make it such a big improvement when you go and play Marshall? Is it your defense? You're like, hey, maybe we're in a zone defense and we didn't move our gaps over, or maybe you're in man defense and our help side wasn't that good. What is something you kind of seen that you was like, okay, let's break this down a little bit more critically before we go play Marshall?
Sure. We've got to play better defensively. I think, you mentioned help side. Help side defense has got to get better. We've got to bump cuts, not get face cut as much as we did, especially in the post. We got ourselves into some foul trouble because we did not keep people from cutting to the ball. And that's not just was in the post, it was on that perimeter as well. But Marshall County's got some good shooters. We've got to keep hands in their face all the time. So while we, again, it wasn't a bad outing at all defensively, but I think we're better. I think in order for us to do the things we want to do, we've got to become a very locked down, half-court, man-to-man defensive team against teams that are going to be good. We've got to be able to do that and mixing other defenses as well.
Absolutely. Now, I want to end this on a positive note talking about last night. I think so many people focus on, when they look at the box score, they see, who was the person that went crazy? Who had the 25, the 35, the 40-point game? But when I look at score sheets, I'm looking at who was the most efficient team. And having 6 people to go and almost have double digits, how important is it to spread out the scoring and not just have one person go out and just drop 40 and then everybody else try to feed into them, and then you're dealing with a whole different situation?
It's extremely important. When we're going on the floor, you can't just key on one person. We've got 5 people on the floor that can score the basketball, and I think that was evident last night. You look across the stat sheet, and I'm not real big on just bringing up stats to the girls, but there are some things that we look at. But if you look at the stat sheet last night, Anna Boone didn't lead us in scoring last night, but she's 1 assist away from having a triple-double.
Oh, wow.
Scoring and rebounding. She had 10 rebounds. She had 9 assists, and whatever. She had 14 points, I think. Anna played a great game. But, you got all of them. Elliot's out there playing hard defensively, hit a couple big threes for us, scored in transition a couple of times. Jordan, I thought, shot well off the bounce last night, hit a couple of threes. Fed's beating and banging. She has a couple shots. Morgan Stuart came in and scored in transition, and got a couple good offensive boards. Briston had to take a seat early because she got in foul trouble, but she came back toward the end of the game, put some in the bucket, and so it's nice to have that for sure.
Awesome. Now, I feel like this might be your favorite part because you'll get to talk so much and you don't got to talk to me. Well, now we can talk about your players. And so, now, you do have a very loaded senior class, of course, but your sophomore and freshman, your underclassmen group is just as deep. So we'll start with the freshmen and then work our way up because the conversation with your seniors can get so deep and take so long. Okay. But let's start with, you got Brody Rich, Brenna Kimmer, Sarah Grau, am I saying that right? Uh-huh. And then Abigail Champion. So tell me about those freshmen and what you are expecting out of them.
Well, that freshman crew, I love them. They play hard. They have to battle those seniors every day in practice. And I think, they are really coming along. They're playing hard. They're getting better. Abigail Champion is somebody that I feel like is going to help us out at the varsity level as the year goes. She's very explosive off the bounce. She can come in and play defense. We don't have a letdown there, and her shot's gotten a lot better. I think Big Brother's worked on that with her a little bit, and she loves Big Brother, so she listens to him, and she's gotten a lot better. Sarah Grau. Anytime I open the gym, Sarah's there. She's really worked on her ball handling and on her shooting and various moves and stuff. And, Sarah's gotten a lot better. Brody Rich, Brody experiences a lot of success on the softball field. And I've been talking to Brody about bringing that confidence to the basketball court. And she's so quick, and she shoots the ball well, too, when she stays fundamental. And she's going to be somebody that helps us a lot. And then Brenna Kimmer. Brenna, again, she shoots the ball well from the outside. She's learning the game and becoming more confident. So all 4 of them are good kids. I love their attitudes. And so, the future is bright with them. We had some conversations yesterday just before the game, and they're very coachable because the things that I asked of them, the things that I told them I expected of them, I saw them go out there and do it, or try to do the things. So they're a great group.
Awesome. And then your 2 lone sophomores, you got A.G. Berry and Jordan Hodge. Now, I'm not going to go on here and talk about, how great Jordan is, in my opinion, because I see it. I love watching her play. I really do. And that's just not because you're sitting here. I think she's very exciting to watch play. Do you think she gets that from you or get that from Dennis?
Jordan's her own self. Jordan's her own self. Of course, I'd like to take credit for part of it, and Dennis would too. But she works really hard. Jordan. There's very few days from the end of last season to the time we started this year that she wasn't in the gym doing something. And I don't prod her to do that. She wants to be in there. So, she played a lot of AAU ball this summer, and so she's bettered her game in that sense. Jordan's somebody that I feel like in pressure situations has got to be the person we put the ball in her hands. And she's got to be able to handle it. I have real high expectations for her, and sometimes I'm very critical of her. And one of the people that I talk to the most is my college coach. I confide in her a lot, and she kind of keeps my blood pressure down a little bit over Jordan. She tries to bring me to some reality a little bit, but no, she does a lot of great things. She is exciting to watch, and it's a special thing to get to coach your daughter.
Absolutely.
Of course, Jesse played for me as well, and Jesse and Jordan are two different people. They both play the point, but it's just a blessing to be able to have that. But she's going to have to from a mental standpoint, be tougher. Like last night, she got some fouls early for reaching and playing a little tight, and she's just got to learn. She's got to learn that. How's it being called at the beginning, and adjust your game to that, and just play the next play, and not get tore up about it.
Looking at this sophomore, we'll get to Adrian in a second, but looking at this sophomore class, I look at it as two guards that will be so instrumental into y'all's, starting and rotational group, and just so big as the season progresses. So just kind of dive into Adri a little bit, like what you're expecting out of her.
Oh yeah, Adri. Of course, she came to us last year. Was new to the program, and she came from a good program in Graves County, and coming in though, just kind of learning the coaching staff and the girls and everything. I thought she did a good job last year. She brings a lot of intensity to the game. She plays hard. She plays tough. And I think she's really feeling more comfortable. And, of course, she had an injury in soccer, and she kind of, made it through the end of that season. And so she took a few weeks off at the beginning of basketball to try to heal that up, and is doing well with it. And, she brings a toughness. I think, I don't know a whole lot about soccer, but just angles and anticipation and things like that she brings to the table defensively, and she's getting more confident offensively. She's not afraid to open her mouth out there on the floor, and so I see her becoming, like you said, more and more a part of the rotation and expectation there night in, night out, that she brings a lot to the table for us.
So we finish up with the underclassmen now. I would just dive into the upperclassmen themselves, but you only got one junior.
Yeah.
So that helps me as a reporter. So just tell me about Morgan. She is your only junior, but she is one of the big rotators for the bigs down low.
Oh, yeah. Morgan is the lone junior, but, man, she has some big shoes and does a lot of stuff for us. I thought last night when Briston had to go out early with foul trouble, Morgan came in and scored a couple big buckets in transition, had some nice offensive rebounds. Thought she did a good job, for us defensively, and that's what she can do. And as I was talking to Morgan this week, I said, you're like having a sixth starter, except you get the advantage of being able to sit and watch for a few minutes before you go in. So use that to your advantage. Watch what the person that you're probably going to have to be guarding is doing. See any tendencies that they have, and see where the gaps are in the zone defense, or what's open, against a man. And then that ought to give you a huge advantage when you come in. And Morgan's just so strong, and she played hard last night. I was real proud of her. She had, I think, 6 or 7 rebounds and 9 or 10 points, and so she did a great job.
Awesome. So we're going to take a little break. And then we'll come back and talk about the senior class, and then we'll talk about your upcoming schedule with Marshall County. Then you got Breckenridge, and then we'll finish it up.
All right.
So we'll be right back.
All right.
Lady Rockets and Rockets want to thank the following businesses for supporting digital basketball content this season:
Mark Williams and Whitetail Properties,
Re-elect Bart Frazer, County Attorney,
Farmers Bank and Trust,
Nathan Ratley at Marion Recycling.
Livingston Hospital.
H&H Home and Hardware.
Tanner Tabor at YTG Insurance.
First United Bank in Marion.
Elect Chad Nelson, Crittenden County Attorney.
Colby Davis in West Kentucky Launchpad.
Stuart Haberlock's Preferred Tree and Land.
Lone Star Construction.
Ellington Detailing.
Roy Crane Tire and Equipment Rental.
Johnson's Furniture and Appliance.
Jared Champion at JRC Kennels.
Megan Roberts, Chiropractic and Wellness.
Kenny Locke and Superior Exteriors.
H&R Block, Marion, Kentucky. And Stark's Sports Training.
Welcome back, Rocket fans. We are back, and we're just going to jump right back into it. So you have a very loaded senior class. You got 6 girls. So you could go out there and start 5 seniors out there. So we'll start from Briston and then work our way up. So tell me about Briston and what she's bringing, because she is your tallest player.
She is. Briston, she brings great length. She's a good rebounder. I think she's gained confidence offensively. She can shoot the 3-ball. She can play with her back to the basket. She's shot the ball well just from 15, 16, 17 feet in practice this year. I've said for the last couple of years, our post players are our X factor. We have to have her stay out of foul trouble and just play good, solid defense for us. Score when the opportunity arises. She has been more aggressive in the full court in our presses on the back end in the preseason, and so she has to continue to do that. But she brings a lot to the table just because of her size, her length, and just being able to be confident out there and be a rim protector for us and continue to just get better on the offensive end as well. Be smart, stay out of foul trouble, but she does a great job. And so, like I said, I think she's somebody that when we get into the play with these teams that are the top teams in other regions and stuff, our post players have to give us scoring and rebounding, and she can do it.
Do you believe that with the girls that you have that are bigs, that you will be able to use your bigs in transition, which is something I don't think a lot of teams use, but when I watch you watch your team, I believe that y'all can do that. Do you feel the same way?
Yeah, that's something we preach every day in practice. If you don't get the rebound, get out and run. We have Jordan that plays our 1, but we like to get the ball to Anna off defensive boards because Anna sees the floor extremely well, and she can just put it on a dime. If you're open, if you want to get ahead of the ball and run, Anna's going to get you the ball. And Jordan's getting better at that, and so that ought to be a luxury for our bigs, and they can run. That's not something that is to ask of them that's hard for them to do. Morgan and Briston and Federico, they all can run, so we ought to look for that.
So this one's a little bit of a different story because, it's not a normal basketball journey, but we're going to talk about Chloe Hunt a little bit. Now, she's dealt with these knee injuries, but tell me, just even emotionally, how important she has been to this team. Yeah,
she's huge. She's such an inspiration. Chloe is to me. When I look over and see her, and she makes my heart smile every day that she's still coming and she's stuck with us, and she's been on a journey for sure. And so throughout this whole thing, I've challenged her to think like a coach, and to when she's sitting on the bench to give me ideas, to talk to the other players, the things that she sees, and she takes notes for me during the game, and it would really top the season off if she could get back out there and play a little bit at the end. Of course, we're not talking about it a whole lot because nobody wants to get our hopes way up there with the things that she's been through, but in my heart, that's of course something that I would love to see, and I know her teammates would too, because she really is the vocal leader for this group. If you go back to when they were playing through middle school and when she was playing as a freshman, she talks and she opens her mouth offensively. She plays with a lot of energy, and so it would be extraordinary if she could get back out there on the floor with us.
Absolutely, and we'll absolutely be following her along the year.
Sure.
And hopefully get to see her back. So now we go into one of your rotational guards, Georgia Holman. And just kind of, when I think about her, I think of a good 3-point shooter and a good defender. So what else do you see that maybe some other people don't?
Yeah, Georgia definitely can shoot the ball well. Georgia's been in the program for a long time, so she knows expectation. She could, another one of those situations like Morgan where you're having an opportunity to sit and watch for just a few minutes before you go into the game and kind of see the things that are open or see the things that maybe we're lacking. So you go out and make the extra effort to do. And, Georgia's always around the ball. I think last night she got a couple of offensive boards, a couple of defensive boards, and took some good shots. One didn't go down, but I want her to shoot the ball. She's got good quickness. She's another person that can get out and run. Ought to look to score in transition a bucket or two a game, so Georgia just brings a spark. I look at Georgia as a spark plug when she goes in. I think she's going to make something happen in a positive manner, and she's very valuable to us from that perspective.
So now we're going to get into, I don't want to say three-headed monster because we're talking about girls, of course, but this three-headed group of seniors that just like when they're on the court together, they just look very fluid with each other. Like they've just been playing basketball together since, they could walk. So we'll start with Andrea Federico, and just tell me about her, and then we'll hop into the other two.
Okay, well, this group has played together for a long time, and if you can remember back when they played in middle school, they zipped the ball around when they played in middle school, just like they do now. Hopefully making a little bit better decisions now than they did then. But,
absolutely.
But, Andrea is kind of our tough guy, a bruiser a little bit. She's very versatile. She can guard perimeter players. She can guard post. We're counting on her big in the rebounding category on both ends of the floor. I think that you're going to see Andrea score more points this year than she did last year. She's gained confidence off the bounce. I want her to attack the rim. She can shoot the three. She hit one last night. So just the versatility that she brings to the team is critical. She can play the three. She can play the four. She can play the five. Whatever we need her to do. And again, very coachable and wants to do well. So Andrea is one of those, again, X factors. If you put her and Morgan and Briston together, I think the three of them and the elevated level that they play at is going to take us to that next level that we're talking about.
Absolutely. Now, talking about probably the two, don't want to say most famous, but I kind of like the most famous attachment to them, Elliot and Anna, but we'll start with Elliot. So Elliot last year was your second leading scorer. Am I making that up?
She was second
pretty close.
Or third.
Yeah, second or third, absolutely. So you're looking for that same reproduction this year, and then you want to see even more. Tell me about the chip that maybe you are putting on her shoulder. Maybe not necessarily she's putting on herself, but what you want to see out of her.
Well, last week I kind of made in practice I gave a call out to the seniors because I felt like they needed to be a little more verbal and do a few more things. I thought a lot of responsibility for just getting us ready to practice, moving from one thing to another was left on me, and I feel like they should be responsible for it. And Elliot is one that really responded to that call, and she is doing a good job of leading right now. And I appreciate that from her, and it's going to be something that we have to have her continue to do, and the others jump on board to help her with that. But Elliot is our dog defensively. Mm-hmm. We started talking about that a lot last year. Who's going to be the dog? Who's bringing it every day defensively? And I'm a very defensive minded coach, and so Elliot does that. She plays the point of most of our presses or our trapping defenses, and she and Anna switch back and forth a little bit. But I think she's our Energizer Bunny. Mm-hmm. I think people follow her lead as far as how hard she plays defensively. And, on the offensive end of the floor, we've got to depend on her to get out in transition. She can shoot the three. She had two last night. I think confidence-wise, her jumper and getting to the rim is something that she's more confident with. And, Elliot is just she's a fun player to watch because she plays with so much energy and is definitely, a great defensive player. I think, if you want an example of her defense, I think you go back to the All-A State tournament last year, our second round game, I think it was, the team we played. This kid had averaged, I don't know how much she averaged, but I was like, Elliot, you got to lock her down. I don't think she touched the ball more than 4 or 5 times in the game and got off 2 or 3 shots. And so we've got to have her that intense. And I think when she plays that intense, everybody else does too. Yeah. So she sets the tone there.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I mean, that's somebody that we're going to look at the end of the year, getting an award from wherever that may be, district or anything else. Absolutely. Sure. And so now we jump into a girl who's no stranger to awards. She's no stranger to scoring, and she's no stranger to, your system and everything else. So Anna is the girl, as the way I like to look at it, because she's the girl that I see on this team that when she plays at her best, I think y'all are very hard to beat. So just tell me what you think about her and how she will just embody this whole team and bring them up with her.
Sure, I think we do things through Anna a lot. I have tried to get her in front of the ball with Jordan, bring the ball on the floor off of made baskets, and try to give her that second touch instead of her giving it up and having to get it back and try to run some things for her. But Anna is so capable. She's so smooth out there on the floor. Very versatile. We have put her guard and post players a lot more than we did early in her career because of her length, and she's done well with that. She, I think yesterday in the first half, she had 5 or 6 defensive boards down there and a couple of blocks, and so or we can bring her out and put her on a perimeter player that's getting shots off or whatever. She's very versatile. She's a scorer. She's a rebounder. She's a defender. She's the best passer that we have on our team, and so definitely Anna is the person that we play through. But I think the luxury again of this team is that Anna not only she doesn't have to bear the burden alone. And I think if you saw her play last night, I think Anna could have scored more points last night. But she was trying to include our team and, people that maybe come off the bench, was trying to get them shots. And so she's a very unselfish player in that sense as well. And that's a reflection of our team, too. I don't think we have any selfishness. I think they're all very genuinely happy for each other when they see them do things well. And, that's huge.
Absolutely.
So I think that Anna is, best player in the region all around. I think you look at her and the versatility that she brings, and so you look at stat sheets, and like I said, she had one assist away from a triple double last night, and that's the kind of stats you're going to see out of her all year, and that's what we need from her all year. And she doesn't have to always be the one that's the leading scorer, but she does always have to play that role of doing the other things for us too. So we'll call on her a lot, and she's going to have to play tough and play hard, because she's going to receive a lot of physicality. Absolutely. I think, from people, and she'll be ready for that.
Absolutely. Well, I think we'll be talking about her getting that triple double at some point if she's doing this first game of the year. So as a whole, how much chemistry do you see just building throughout this group?
There's a lot. Play together for a long time, so we've got a lot of high expectations. I think I've set us up to have to run a gauntlet here these first few weeks. We're playing these 3 of the top teams in the first region. Then we go to Breckinridge County Saturday, who's one of the top 2 teams I think in their region, and so we wanted to challenge early. I think that we have to use this as a learning experience. We're gonna have to play through, having good spurts and having some adversity. I feel like in the next couple of weeks, as far as within the game, and so it's going to hopefully grow us mentally. That's really what I'm hoping for. I think physically, and just from a skill talent perspective, we're a pretty daggum good basketball team. But I think we have to be put in those situations early that we're going to see when we get to an All-A regional tournament, when we get hopefully to an All-A state tournament or the postseason play. we want those kinds of pressure situations early. I want them for myself from a coaching standpoint,
Absolutely.
and I want them for our team.
Absolutely.
So hopefully we'll have some success, and it'll be a fun ride.
Oh, yeah, I believe we're in for a fun season. Well, Shannon, I want to thank you so much
thank
for joining
you.
me today.
Thank you.
I want to thank you all for watching, and we will be back soon. Thank you.
Crittenden County Basketball would like to thank these fine sponsors: Mark Williams, Whitetail Properties, re-elect Bart Frazer, County Attorney, Farmers Bank and Trust, Nathan Ratley at Marion Recycling, Livingston Hospital, H&H Home and Hardware, Tanner Tabor at YTG Insurance, First United Bank in Marion, elect Chad Nelson, Crittenden County Attorney, Colby Davis and West Kentucky Launchpad, Stuart Haberlock's Preferred Tree and Land, Lone Star Construction, Ellington Detailing, Roy Crane's Tire and Equipment Rental, Johnson's Furniture and Appliance, Jared Champion at JRC Kennels, Megan Roberts, Chiropractic and Wellness, Kenny Locke and Superior Exteriors, H&R Block of Marion, and Stark's Sports Training.